Well, howdy there, Moose Tube fans. Lone Moose here. Hope everyone is staying safe and healthy out there. I'm going to be starting a new video series here, and this will be the first installment in it. But before I get to that point, I kind of wanted to give everyone an update on what's been going on in the month of January. Excuse me. As you may know or may not know, I had COVID this month, or January. Today's February 1st. And it was a rough son of a gun for 4 or 5 days. And, you know, about 10 days, most of the symptoms were gone. But it took a full 2.5, probably almost 3 weeks for everything to clear up and go away. And that includes the mental fog, you know. And, hey, I'm an old moose anyway. So you add that on top of it, it's really no fun. And the fatigue. I'm basically back to about 98% of my crotchety old self now. So that situation is pretty good. Cameron had it. He actually got it from work and came home, and of course it came home with him. So Cameron got it, Miranda got it, I got it, the baby got it. But we're all over it. Good shape. As far as what's going on back with the West Virginia situation, well, Mom and Terry are both in the nursing home. Terry had COVID. He's just finished his 10 days of, dealing with it, and he's still in a semi-isolation room right now, but he did okay. He got pretty sick for a couple days, and he said Mom has it as well, and she's in an isolation room, so he can't talk to her. That's really all he knows. So that's pretty much all I know about what's going on back there. So anyway, I am kind of excited about this, and I'll explain it more as it gets into it here in just a minute, and we're getting ready to do installment number 1. But I would like to thank all of you guys for sticking with me. I know it's been a long, dry month with me not doing anything. I apologize, but it just goes with the territory with this beast of a disease. So, hope everyone enjoys what I'm about to do. If you do, please hit the like and subscribe. Share this with your friends. As you see what this video series is going to evolve into, if you have any thoughts about stuff you'd like to see me do, please include that in the comments down below, and we'll see what we can do to make that happen as well. So let me get off of here. I'll see you when I see you, and please enjoy this. I think it's going to be really quite enjoyable. Well, happy February, Moose Tube fans. Lone Moose here. How's it going? Today, I'm going to start a new series. And I'm going to call this series kind of Cooking with Miranda. Now, for those of you who don't know, Cameron is my son. He's 21. Miranda is his girlfriend, significant other, whatever they call him in the young world today. And the mother of baby Ezra, my granddaughter Ezzie. And, you know, as I prepare to move to Alaska, I'm trying to share with her some of my ways that I do things. And, you know, this way she'll have a video reference once I'm way up north and long gone on how to do things. And today what I'm going to do is what I call my perfect pot roast. And I'll kind of just run through the stuff here for you while I'm waiting for her to get ready to get down here. This seasoning packet right here, and I'll put the link down below. Excuse me. I first ran across this at Smith & Edwards store up in north of Ogden, Utah last summer. Great place. I love that store. It's the only place I had ever found this because it's gluten-free, so it's good for me. Has a sea salt, which I like sea salt over regular iodized salt. And it's super simple. I mean, basically you take this packet and you mix it with 1.5 cups of water and dump it on top of all your ingredients in your Crockpot and let it do its job. Now, I've since found that I can order these on Amazon.
And I'll put the link down below where I order it from Amazon, so you guys can look at it if you want. Now, I have no affiliate deal with Amazon yet. I'm an old fart. I haven't figured out how to do that. Maybe one of these days. But in the meantime, this is by far the best pot roast seasoning that I have ever come across. Basically, the pot roast is really, really simple. You start out with, let's see, well, first, what does the packet say? The packet says a 3 to 4 pound thick chuck roast. Well, what I have here, and this came from Costco, I buy big packets. It's top sirloin roasts, and usually I use it for making jerky, but I've started using it in the pot roast and I really like it. So that's probably about 4 pounds worth right there. Some potatoes, a yellow or red onion. I'm not going to use all of it, but I'll use a bunch of it. And celery, carrots. I'm lazy. I buy baby carrots. They're already peeled. You don't have to cut them up. They're the right size. Dump them in. Good to go. And found these out there. The Miranda bought some new ones yesterday, but you know, the bottom parts of these green onions are still good. The tops are all wilted, but I don't use the tops in there anyway, so I'm going to use these two rather than throw them away. So that's really all the ingredients that go into this. Now, let me focus my camera. That was not cool, kicking the camera around like that. Here's what we're going to be making it in. This is a 6-quart electric Crockpot. Pioneer Woman is the brand. Get it at Walmart. And Ree Drummond is the Pioneer Woman. She has a channel on one of the Food Network shows. Does some neat stuff. But I really liked this Crockpot. It's very simple. I think it was like $29. But it's got selection for temperature, low, high, and warm, and power. So I'm going to, if I select low or high, high it kicks it on for 4 hours, low for 8 hours. When I get ready to start it, I'm going to set it on high, and I'm going to run it up to about 7 hours, and it will run its course through there. What's really cool with this is once your timer runs down, it automatically reverts to warm for an hour or two. So, I mean, this is fantastic. This is a real set it and forget it. And if you're the kind of person who likes to do these Crockpot meals, you're easy to set it up in the morning. If you have to go to work, when you get home in the evening, bang, you got one hell of a good meal here. So, all that being said, let me go round up Miranda and we will get started. Okay, folks, I got Miranda down here with me and we're getting ready to get started. We're going to do the meat part first. Like I said, these are top sirloin that I buy from Costco. Come on, open it. There we go.
What animal is this? A cow?
Cow. This is cow. I wish it was moose, but it's cow. So we got to make do with what we got. So now what you're going to do is I like to cut them down and make it a smaller piece of meat, just because it helps it cook a little quicker and a little more done. These are very thick to start with. So I just basically cut it in half. Put it in there. Your turn. Just cut it in half. Do not put any fingers in it.
It's gross.
All right. Into the pot.
Ew. That feels disgusting.
All right.
Such a girl.
It's a girl thing, right?
Yes. take these gloves off?
I do now at this point. It's just when you're handling raw meat,
Yeah.
that's the smart thing to do. Okay, so now we have our meat in the Crockpot. So what I use is baby carrots. And I use baby carrots because I'm basically lazy. They're peeled, they're the right size already. A package like this, and this is a 1 pound package, is good for making 2 pot roast meals. So I've already made one. Just dump it in there and throw the bag away. Okay, nice and easy.
There's a carrot stuck in there. Okay.
Yep. Now, the next thing we're going to do is this, and this is the one where you might lose your fingertips. I'm just kidding. Actually, I'm not. If you're not careful, you might. But I cleaned up the green onions already while you were getting ready. And so basically what I just do is lay them out here, try and get them all about the same to the end piece. And I'm going to cut them in pieces about that wide.
Okay.
So. Doesn't have to be exact, just in general.
Ooh. Will you make your eyes cry if you touch your
No.
eyes afterwards?
No.
It's not like those ones.
A lot of people have that problem with onions. I never have had.
I've had that
Okay.
problem before. I guess it depends on how ripe the onion
And
is.
what type of onion it is, whether it was a sweet onion or a red onion, what kind of soil it was grown in, all kinds of things I don't understand. Okay?
Okay.
Now, real simple. Pick this up.
Don't make me cut you.
That's
Gosh,
right.
that's why
Pick
I
that
shouldn't
up and
have
dump it
a
in
knife.
there. Boom.
Okay.
Okay? Next up, the celery. We're basically going to do the same thing.
Okay.
Get it about the same width. And I make these about that wide.
Okay.
Yeah. Now take your knife and just kind of push it through. Okay, come back. Let me show you. Okay. Get over here like this. Okay. It's just a pushing motion, and see how it goes. Be that far, and then you reverse it and come back. Is that easier?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
It's not the super sharpest knife in the world. There you go. But you're using leverage in physics, so. There you go. And same thing, dump it in. Okay. So far, so looking good. Now, I'm going to show you how I do the onion.
Okay.
Let me make sure I got my camera where I can see myself here, so I know what I'm doing. Because a lot of people do onions differently. Cameron's the cook. Okay, as you're doing this, always use his advice first.
Okay.
But this is how I do it. Take the onion, cut flat sides, and then I just basically cut it almost all the way through. And let's see, while I'm doing this, but now Cameron said he really liked the chili that I made. So the next video that I do, you're going to make chili.
Yeah.
And then after that, we're going to do the video on that chicken that we saw last night that looks so good. And essentially what I'm trying to do here, folks, is, because you all know I'm moving to Alaska. And so I'm trying to help Miranda learn some good cooking ideas and skills here. And at the same time, kind of making a video cookbook. Because these will always be available to her on YouTube. And also, as I render them down, I'll save them and have it that way too. So if you have a place you don't have internet, you can always just look it up on your computer and see what you got. This is where it gets kind of messy towards the end.
Yeah.
And hit this, if you're going to cut yourself, this would be the place. Okay. And that's pretty much what I do with the onions. Because now they're diced up in little squares. And I'm not a fancy cook. I don't have all the little techniques of the chefs and such. That's for Cameron to teach you.
Okay.
Boom. And all that's left are the potatoes. I'll do the first one, you're doing the rest of them.
Okay.
The way that I do it is basically cut them into about 3/4 inch to 1 inch wide pieces. And you just kind of have to go by feel. There's no right way, there's no wrong way. How you like your potatoes. There you go.
What do I do the rest of this?
We'll deal with that after we get it all going. A little thicker. Yeah, because if you don't do that, they'll get mushy cooking for a long time in a crock pot. There you go. Cut it that way. You can cut it in quarters if you want, or if you want bigger chunks of potato, you leave them bigger chunks. It's all in how you want it.
Don't fall on the floor.
Well, if it does, it's no big deal. You rinse it off and do what you want to do with it. Now the potatoes we're using today are russets. Sometimes I'll use the Yukon Golds if I can find those. When I was buying potatoes a couple weeks ago, there was no Yukon Golds to be found. So
SOL.
it just depends on how much potatoes. I understand you like a lot of the potatoes and carrots in it. So
That's the potatoes and the meat together are my favorite part.
yeah. And this seasoning packet, one of the reasons I like it, I mean, it's got a lot of garlic in it, but it's not to the point of being overpowering. And since we're using about 4 pounds here, you know, it says the packet's good for 3 to 4 pounds. If you're ever going to do a smaller roast, and let's see how many potatoes we've got right there. If you're ever going to do a smaller roast, say a 2 pound, then you might want to not use all of the seasoning packet because it will get kind of salty and spicy with the garlic for a smaller roast. But for 3 to 4 pounds, that packet is exactly perfect.
Oh, I cut it the wrong way. Whoops.
There's no wrong way. Okay.
I kind of did a mixture of big potatoes and
However you want to do it. Okay. Boom. Now, to answer your other question, what we're going to do with the rest of that onion.
put on top.
What you just did with the potatoes, do with that. Slice it up into chunks. Yeah, now you got to, with this, see it's not cutting all the way, there you go. Wasn't cutting all the way through. Okay. And then when you get the bigger chunks, just, there you go. Cut it in half or thirds. And dump it on top.
Okay.
Almost. Now, going back to about here. Now, the rest of it right here, what we've got, and this is the seasoning pack. You can keep stirring it. I'm just getting it over here. Basically, it's 1.5 cups of water in 1 packet. Now, I use hot water when I do that because it dissolves it better. So, stir it up, dump it on. And then scrape out all that good garlic in there. Now, one thing a lot of people will comment about starting a pot roast like this is they'll say, oh, you need more fluid than that. No, you don't. Because as this cooks down, the meat
the potatoes, the vegetables, all the water, the fluid that's in those is going to cook out too to make you a nice thick broth. So the next thing that we're going to do with this is take the crock pot over here on the counter and get it set up. Get the camera around this way. Say Dodge dog food. Take this, set it right here. Plug it in.
How long do you leave it on there for?
All right, well, we'll talk about that here in just a second. I need to make sure I'm in the frame here while I'm talking. Okay, so now, me around on this side. Do it a little bit better. It's plugged in. Now, again, this is all neat because a lot of these don't have these timers built in it. So you have power is low, high, and warm. When you select low, it gives you 8 hours. 8 hours on low will not cook this. Take about 12 to 14 hours on low. We're going to go to high, and it defaults to 4 hours. And we're going to run that up to 6 hours. Let's see, let's make it 6.5 hours.
Okay.
Now, what's going to happen at the end of 6.5 hours is it's going to turn itself down to warm. So it'll keep it warm for you. And probably, so 6.5 hours will put us at 6 o'clock tonight.
Okay.
Because it's 11:30 now. But sometime around 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, come down and don't open it before then, but then check it, stir it up, and kind of see how the meat's tenderizing. Because you're going to gauge everything by how tender the meat gets and how tender the potatoes get.
Okay.
Those are the two things that are going to determine when it's done.
Okay.
Okay? So, any questions about what we've done? Pretty simple. I believe in simple. Okay? There's a lot of people who like to cook fancy and everything else, but the way that I cook, essentially, and I say this in all my videos, is cook the way your friends and your family want to eat. That's what's important. Not how fancy and pretty it looks or anything else. Cook like they want to eat it, because if it's not something they're going to like, you just wasted, well, there's probably $30 in materials here because of the high price of meat now. So, but at the same time, this gives you everything in one meal. You've got meat, you got potatoes, you got veggies. Boom. And it also makes it much easier from everyone else's perspective for cleanup. You don't have near as many dishes to wash. And this actual crock lifts out of here. And so in the evening, when we're all done and it's cooled down, then we just, with the lid on it, you can take it out of here and put it straight in the refrigerator. And then tomorrow and the next day, you dip out what you want till it's all gone. And another neat thing about this particular crock pot, it's got a little snaps on the lid. So say you want to make something here and take it over to Brian's house for a party later. That keeps your lid from falling off in the car.
Yeah, that is great.
Okay, you don't leave it locked down during regular cooking, but that's for transporting. Neat deal. And when I leave for Alaska, this stays with you guys.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Okay? Alrighty, well folks, we got everything going. We will see you all this evening and see how it turned out. Alright, this has been cooking for almost 7 hours. Get it opened up here. Alright, you come over here on this side so you can see what I'm talking about. Because it's done, and you can see we can stir it. And the way that you tell it's done, see how the potatoes are tender? Okay, I can squish the potato like that. And when you look at the meat, if the meat just flakes apart like this, it's done. So it is done. Now I'm going to go ahead and dish me up some here and have some for dinner. If you want me to, I'll dish you up a little bowl. If not, you can have some later because this is going to sit here.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat it when I come back.
Yeah, we'll be back
Okay.
in 10
Yeah, we're
minutes.
gonna go get Cameron some pizza because he doesn't want it.
That's cool. Alright guys, well I'm going to wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Well, Moose fans, the pot roast is done. Kids had to run off and do an errand, but I'm going to eat me some now. So I thought I'd share it with you. let you know what I think. Oh my God, this is so good. That mix that I showed you when we started is just the bomb. I can't see using any other. Like I said, number one, it's gluten-free. So for me with celiac, I don't have to worry about the gravy. It tastes good. It's got a great flavor. Wonderful, excuse me, amount of garlic. Not too much, not too little, just right. Everything's good and tender. Now, I let it go on high for about 4.5, close to 5 hours. And then I backed it down to low for a little over 2 hours. So about 7 hours total. And I mean, it's fork tender. I don't know if you can see me doing this here, but hey, the meat just flakes off. The beef that I used for this top sirloin. Excuse me. Is, you know, it's a drier, it's a lean, very lean cut of meat. But sitting here with all of this gravy and everything, man, you don't realize it. This is just so good. So I hope you all enjoy this. Like I said, this is the start of a whole new series, Cooking with Miranda, to teach my daughter-in-law, or whatever you guys want to think of her as. I think of her as a daughter-in-law. You know, how to cook and become self-sufficient so that when I haul my butt up to Alaska, they're in good shape and she can, you know how to do and make a lot of the things that she likes for herself and Cameron and the baby. So if you enjoyed this, please hit the like and subscribe button. If you hit the notify bell, you'll be notified when I make new videos. And, excuse me, I stepped outside and got a big dose of pollen. But, you know, this is, to me, one of the most enjoyable things. I've always loved to cook. I started cooking when I was 8 years old. And as I've said in all my other cooking videos, you want to cook for the way that your family and your friends like to eat. You know, don't worry about trying to be super fancy and compete with Chef XYZ off of Food Network or whatever. That's not who you're cooking for. That's not who would enjoy what you do. Your family, your friends are who enjoy it. So they're your target. They're your mission. You know what you got to do. I've shown you everything you need to know to do this pot roast, Miranda. So this is lesson number 1 done. Cameron's asked that one of the next ones we do is going to be chili, so maybe we'll do that this coming weekend. In the meantime, I'm going to eat my dinner before it gets cold. This is Lone Moose out. Y'all stay safe out there. Have a good evening, and I'll see you on the next video.